Tonight, Regina police are searching for an arsonist after a fire was lit at a local church, all of it caught on security camera. Also, after the inquest into Canada's worst mass stabbing, a look at in-custody and grassroots resources for Indigenous offenders. Plus, a performance worthy of the Olympics. A 22-year-old from Pike Lake will be chasing gold in Paris this summer.
This is CBC Saskatchewan News.
It is Monday, February 12th, and the CBC Saskatchewan News starts right now. Good evening and thanks for joining us. Regina police are investigating an arson attempt at Regina's oldest Catholic church. The fire was extinguished quickly and didn't cause much damage, but church officials say it's still disturbing. And as Shalok Talati reports, it was all caught on camera.
This video was captured by a security camera early Friday morning. It's at the back door of Blessed Sacrament Catholic Church in Regina. You can see a masked person making several attempts to open a jerry can. Then they pour out the contents and try to light it. Once the fire is lit, the person flees on foot. Father James Henges is the pastor at the church, and he posted the video on his social media on Friday.
I would normally be here, but just fortunately that evening I was gone. And so I saw it all moments after it took place by smart cam, and I was shocked. And then I saw, like other cameras in the house. I could see the smoke coming in. So I was very, very disturbed. Later, when I saw the video, I was even more disturbed.
The police say fire crews were able to extinguish the flames before they spread to other parts of the church. Last month, CBC reported that at least 33 churches have been destroyed by fires across Canada since May 2021. According to investigators, 24 of those were arson.
The Regina Police Service takes anything like this, any arson, any intent to harm someone or cause damage to a building, especially if it's a place where it's a place of faith, a place where people, go to feel safe.
Why did this person do it? Maybe there's mental illness involved, and they need healing in their life. Maybe it's something we've done. I can't imagine what I personally or this church has done, but maybe it's just outright criminal activity. Then it has to be addressed. You can't just wish it away. It has to be addressed, whatever it is, or whatever the reason.
The police say the investigation continues. They're asking anyone with information about the Catholic Church fire to reach out to them or Crime Stoppers. Shlok Talati, CBC News, Regina.
People in Carman, Manitoba are in shock this evening. More details were revealed today on a tragedy there that spanned 3 crime scenes. 5 people are dead. Ian Fraze has the latest from the community about 40 minutes southwest of Winnipeg.
Bethany was 6, Chapin was 4, and Isabella was only 2 months.
Nancy Clearwater, overwhelmed with grief.
I'm numb. I'm numb. I don't know what to feel. I'm angry.
Clearwater struggling to cope after her daughter, her 3 grandchildren, and her niece were killed. It happened in 3 locations in southern Manitoba. On Monday, police charged a man.
5 first-degree murder charges against Ryan Manakisik, a 29-year-old male from Carman, Manitoba.
He allegedly killed his own partner and kids, who he lived with.
You hear the officer say that an entire family has been lost. This is a dark time in Manitoba.
The bodies were all discovered on Sunday. In the morning, Amanda Clearwater was found along a frosty highway south of Carman. Her 3 children, 6-year-old Bethany, 4-year-old Javen, and Isabella, just 2 months old, found beside a burning car north of Carman.
She loved those kids. She loved those kids more than anything in the world.
She was a good mom?
She was a damn good mom.
Later on Sunday, Nancy's niece, 17-year-old Maya Grattan, found at a home in Carmen. The community shaken up.
I think the whole town is in shock and in mourning and in disbelief.
Neighbor Randy McFarland would see the kids playing outside.
You just struggle to understand what possible reason you would have for the kids. I mean, what did the kids ever do to you?
Schools in Carmen brought in counselors to help students cope.
Both buildings are relatively quiet right now.
Meanwhile, the family is upset with the police investigation. Nancy Clearwater says she first heard from officers late last night.
So Facebook, the media, everybody knew about it, except for me and my husband.
RCMP says it's difficult to get to victims' families before the news spreads on social media. Police also said Manikiusik remains in custody. He appeared in court today. We know a little about the accused from a 2019 court hearing. He's from Garden Hill First Nation and has struggled with meth addiction. Ian Fraze, CBC News, Carmen.
A 21-year-old man has been arrested and charged in Saskatoon's second homicide of the year. Police say a man was shot and killed Saturday at a home in the Westmount neighborhood. Officers were called to Avenue K North shortly before 7 o'clock that morning. They say the man knew the 48-year-old victim, but have not said how. Both men are from Saskatoon, but neither has been identified. Police have not said what charges the man who was arrested will face. The city of Saskatoon says it needs more time to discuss a new emergency shelter in the Sutherland neighborhood. Public information sessions originally planned for this week are being postponed until later this month. The 30-space facility would be located in the old fire station on Central Avenue. The nonprofit Mustard Seed is set to run it, providing 24/7 support for people in need. The city says the organizations involved need more time to figure out the operational and safety plans. Recommendations from the inquest into the mass stabbing at James Smith Cree Nation and Weldon suggested putting more money and resources into Indigenous-focused programs in custody, all with the goal of helping Indigenous offenders address the causes of their actions. But as Sam Sampson shows us, some say it's the work already happening outside prison walls that's making the biggest difference.
These ones have a larger...
Women who come from jail to this new Saskatoon transitional home get a cozy welcome.
Each of the suites come with a handmade quilt.
It's a pop of color and encouragement.
The ones that have been abused, the ones that are told they're nothing. This is, no, you are loved.
It's helped 29-year-old Shayla Shingoose.
I think I probably would have gone back to like maybe my old ways because I didn't have as much support as I do today. And I'm pretty glad that I do because, yeah, the relapses are pretty hard.
Staff here say Indigenous-led, community-based housing, healthcare, counseling, and culture are the future of corrections. But recent recommendations from a Saskatchewan inquest into Canada's worst mass stabbing focused more on programs run by the federal government. This after hearing how the killer completed several in-prison programs to address struggles with intergenerational trauma and addictions. This researcher believes in-custody programs are not the best strategy.
To instill and inject more money into an institution that has been designed to simply contain and control people, I think is misguided.
She wants to create a national database of community-built resources helping Indigenous offenders on the outside.
Just to share ideas and possibilities between models.
Some say systemic shifts are starting. Just months ago, this healing lodge in Edmonton extended its supervision of offenders on conditional release into their home communities to finish their sentences. Corrections still makes case management decisions.
We understand how it's important to replace an imposed identity of shame with an identity of cultural pride.
She says that search for self-worth is key for the offender and reconciliation. Sam Sampson, CBC News, Saskatoon.
Saskatchewan has the highest new HIV infection rates in Canada, about 4 times the national average. But potential changes coming to access for self-testing could make that even worse. As Aishwarya Duda explains, community organizations are concerned.
Saskatchewan has the worst new HIV diagnosis rate in the country. It sits at 19 people per 100,000. The national rate is about 5. A rise like this in new cases hasn't been seen in more than a decade. Community organizations say they're worried about people who need testing.
They sent an email stating that they are hearing that funding will be lost for these self-test kits.
Danielle says that email came from Nexus, an organization that provides HIV self-testing kits across the country. The funding for those kits comes from the federal government. She says without those kits, there could be an increase in cases of HIV because it could be spread by people who don't know they have it. Other advocates say the stigma and discrimination associated with HIV makes it difficult to diagnose.
This is not a clinical setting that they're going to. It's a community-based organization on Treaty 6 territory and the homeland of the Métis. And the people that work here are Indigenous people with lived experience of either having HIV or having a loved one or some kind of contact that it has affected their lives.
Barton says meeting people where they need help is important, and clinical settings may not provide what feels like a safe environment.
We have found that people are anxious about accessing a clinic setting for fear of judgment, especially people who live out of town, who see their regular doctor everywhere and they have a pretty good relationship with them.
The Public Health Agency of Canada wouldn't confirm if funding is going to be available after March 31st. In a statement, it says it's continuing to explore options around making kits available to community organizations. Aishwarya Duda, CBC News, Saskatoon.
After many consecutive cloudy days, it is sure nice to see the sunshine again. Still feeling pretty warm out there for mid-February, and we could see more snow tomorrow, but then more glorious sunshine later this week. Ethan will have more on your forecast after the break. Stay with us. For so many, Black History Month is an opportunity to build community and acceptance of Black people and culture. In Regina, the Matembu brothers say it wasn't always easy growing up here, being Black and biracial. Now they're holding teach-ins at their restaurant, looking at issues of social justice. They say their advocacy comes from their parents, and they hope to carry on that legacy.
It's important to be a part of being an active member of community is something that was pivotal to our growing up, but yeah, we're just some prairie boys.
If you were to look at the AFC championship game,
being Black on the prairies in a small kind of rural town, we represented a lot more than just ourselves a lot of times, and we weren't the norm. There wasn't a lot of people that looked like us in our town, and I think our dad had to live like that his entire time in Saskatchewan, or a lot of his time having to find community, not necessarily reflecting what he had back home. So I think it's really impactful. I think that his ability to live on the prairies, and I think he's proud, and a lot of people are proud that his legacy of social justice and fighting for the black experience in the prairies and in Saskatchewan can live on, even if I don't have personal experience with him a lot. It's lived on through my brothers, and I'm hoping that it lives on through me and a lot of people around us. We can form community and be a voice for that community as well.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, thank you.
It has always been very challenging on these prairies for people of color. The stigma of being a person of color and being Black is never been easy on the prairies. It continues to, we progress, but it's not easy on our young youth, and we hope to encourage the idea that no, we're not just, you don't have to be, when you're a Black man, you're not a football player only. You could be many different things, whether it be an activist, whether it be an artist, a shop owner,
a baker.
I was telling we need to be accepted into our community and celebrate our diversity the same way that our family has accepted us for who we are. Our mom primarily raised us, essentially, mainly by herself. Our father is a political refugee and was a freedom fighter from South Africa. We grew up as country boys playing sports and enjoying community. Our mother and her family really played a huge focus on our solidarity and our socialist background.
Seeing the work that my brothers are doing, what all our friends and family have been doing in this area to work for people, work for communities that need help, need support. People are dying. People are screaming for help right now. And it means everything to have a space that we can try. Like we have outlets to try and help. We look at each other, we meet, and we're like, do we want to be a part of this? And sometimes it's not even a choice. It's like we have to do this.
We have trying to been stepping up as a community, and taking care of these people that are our neighbors. If we could easily be in that same position, and we would want to be taken care of the same way. So we've been trying to form avenues of ways that we can take care of each other and provide things that maybe are really hard to get for some of the people living out there. So we've done things like volunteer at there's a tent encampment this summer at City Hall in Regina, and these guys provided food from the restaurant actually for breakfast almost, I think, every day that the camp was going.
It's a real joy to hold space for community and advocate, and we don't take that lightly.
This weather update is brought to you by Crestview Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, proud member of the Capital Automotive Group.
And our weather specialist, Ethan Williams, joins me now. A little more pep in everyone's step because the sun is back.
Yeah, after what feels like forever, we've had that cloud cover sticking around. But yes, finally this weekend, we ended up seeing that breaking away. And in far eastern sections of the province, we still do have some sun and some clear conditions, but the clouds starting to build back in a little bit. And that's because we have an area of low pressure bringing through some snow to southwestern Saskatchewan. Started earlier today, and that has been kind of moving eastward through the afternoon here. Temperatures quite warm around the center of that low pressure, so still near freezing in southwestern sections of the province. Where we have that clearing today, a little cooler at -9 at the 6 o'clock hour in the Weyburn area. That low pressure going to continue to move pretty much almost due eastward overnight tonight, and so right along the Trans-Canada corridor, including places like Regina overnight, we're expecting to see that snow move our way. That moves into the Parkland region by kind of the morning hours tomorrow. Should be out of here by early afternoon. Western sections should see some clearing tomorrow. Regina and eastern sections still likely going to be staying a bit cloudy. And then we get into Wednesday, and that's kind of when we have our next small system bringing through some light snow to portions of southern Saskatchewan. High pressure begins clearing things out, though, as we get into Thursday. And then this seesaw of sky conditions just keeps going. That high pressure moves out, and we're left with cloud cover moving back in for Thursday. Winds also going to pick up a little bit tonight as the low pressure area moves eastward. And so as we get into tomorrow afternoon, could be some gusts in the range of 40, 50, maybe even 60 kilometers an hour, especially in far southeastern Saskatchewan. Those continue to be gusty through the evening tomorrow, and then we should start to see those die down as we head into Wednesday. Separate system is moving through northern Saskatchewan tonight and tomorrow. This is really not bringing too much in the way of precipitation. We're looking for about 1 to 3 centimeters of snow. Again, it's really that system in southern Saskatchewan. Again, right along the Trans-Canada, we could see about 2 to 4 centimeters, maybe locally upwards of 5 centimeters in some spots. And with winds picking up a little bit here and there, we'll likely start to see visibility drop again right along that corridor as we head into this evening and into the early morning hours tomorrow. Highway hotline likely going to be a good thing to keep in check as you head out on your commute tomorrow. That is likely all out of our hair as we head into the afternoon, and we're free and clear by those afternoon and evening hours tomorrow. So for Regina, outside of the snowfall tomorrow, temperatures still going to be staying pretty seasonal. Your Valentine's Day forecast brings the return of some sunshine to the Regina area, and then a drop in temperatures as we see high pressure move in for Thursday, Friday. Clearer conditions, though, and Saturday we're looking for a warm-up with some sunshine before things kind of return back to normal for the start of next week. Saskatoon, a little bit breezy, less of a chance of snowfall for you folks, so you're just looking at a chance of some flurries. Same goes for Wednesday before you get the sunshine heading into Thursday, Friday. And finally, some sunshine as well for the weekend. So yes, Sam, seems like sunshine will continue to be a bit of a theme after tomorrow.
And I think there's some people that went, Valentine's Day is on Wednesday?
Yes, this is your reminder.
Well done. Thanks, Ethan.
You bet.
Well, soon you will no longer be hearing this guy at the Royal Saskatchewan Museum. Mega Munch, the museum's beloved robotic Tyrannosaurus Rex, is retiring. For the last 37 years, the iconic dinosaur has been a goodwill ambassador for the RSM. This past weekend, a retirement party was held for Mega Munch. Hundreds of people stopped by. It is not too late to listen to his marvelous roar one last time. He'll be on display until February 25th. We'll be back after the break. Canada's Auditor General presented a scathing report on the ArriveCan app today. She says the pandemic-era tool cost taxpayers too much money and placed the blame squarely on government agencies.
Overall, this audit shows a glaring disregard for basic management and contracting practices throughout ArriveCan's development and implementation.
Hogan outlined failures by Canada Border Services Agency, the Public Health Agency of Canada, and Public Services and Procurement Canada. She estimated the project cost was more than $59 million, but she said that amount was impossible to confirm because of poor record keeping. The app was used during the pandemic to screen inbound travelers for health information, including their vaccination status. I was going to try and make a joke about inbound weather status, but Ethan's back with one last look at your weather.
Inbound snow coming perhaps to the Regina area. That's what we'll see still tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. Just some lingering light snow. Winds picking up a little bit around 30 kilometers an hour, and those will gust at times 40 to 50 as we head into the afternoon. Still cloudy, but likely not looking at any snowfall by the noon hour. Saskatoon, less of a chance of snow for you, so it's just mostly cloudy skies, temperature around -9, and then into the afternoon, sun-cloud mix for you. I think we'll get more clearing in the Saskatoon area. Very clear skies, making the snowy owls pop out and stand out in the Regina area. Susan McDonald, thanks for sending this one in. Would not want to get caught in those talons, Sam.
But he's so fluffy.
He's very, and gigantic next to me.
So fluffy.
Yes.
All right, thanks, Ethan, and
You
thanks,
bet.
Susan. And before we go, a Saskatchewan diver will be chasing gold at the Paris Olympics this summer. Rylan Weens earned Canada's second spot at the Games. The 22-year-old from Pike Lake qualified for the Olympics at the World Aquatic Championships in Qatar. He and his partner from Quebec placed 5th in men's synchronized 10-meter platform, despite him being sick earlier in the week. This will not be his first Olympics. Weens was at the Tokyo Games in 2021, finishing 19th. The Paris Games are scheduled from July 26th to August 11th this summer. And that's it for us tonight. For news anytime, you can head to our website, subscribe to our YouTube channel, or download the CBC News app. Thanks for watching. Have a great night.